Don Shaw and the Stanford coaching staff setting up the strategy as Hawaii's picked up a couple of points and got the crowd rocking here at Clum. I got to believe Stephanie Schott is going to try to find Jackson again. Hawaii's had some success going at her. I don't mean to pick on Jackson. Obviously, she's a great player, but Hawaii's trying to pick on her. They go right at her, and Kristen Klein gets in there for it. And on that mistake, it's now 9-10, Chris McLaughlin.
Oh, my. Hawaii's picked up the momentum again. They've got the Clum crowd back into this match. Stephanie Schott is happy. The young lady, the 5'2" walk-on from Pearl City. A good server and a great back row specialist. As we see another great back row specialist, Lori Sawan from Corona Del Mar High School, come into the ball game.
This time Klein gets a good pass, and Oden hits it, and it might have been long. Malin Franzen was way in the back and anticipated it might have dropped in. She plays it, and it goes back over to the Cardinal. Well, for Hawaii now, Jenny Wilton is up front. Her dad Mike is here, former Cal Poly San Luis Obispo coach. We'll see if Hawaii goes to her. Lovelace off the tip, net violation. No, they call Lovelace under the net that time. And Shoji, well, you can see what he's doing. It's 11-9. Hawaii not moving well on the serve that time. It's precipitated Lovelace going under the net. Ooh, a line drive serve. Lovelace can't get anything on that. It's 12-9.
Credit Oden. The last two serves have been absolute BBs. She's really serving tough. She's hitting well at the net. She's very definitely in a groove right now. Big number 7 for Stanford, on a roll. Uh-oh. Wouldn't you know, as soon as I say somebody's on a roll,
McLaughlin kiss of death.
Launch it into the net.
Well, she is second on the team in aces coming into tonight's match. She picked up one off of Lovelace, and now it's 9-12, so 2 big points for the Cardinal. Jackson from the outside through the block, and a good dive in the back. Lovelace. Boyer, good hit. Couldn't do much with that. Ball in the back row. Nobody from Hawaii can get to it. Chris, that was not that difficult to hit. And Hawaii possibly out of position on that.
What happened that time? I think Boyer left the back row a little bit too quickly, and Brandy Brooks. Boyer right there left too much court for Brandy Brooks to cover.
This time Franzen off the block. Oden. Bev Oden started back expecting the big hit, and when it hit off the block, she moved up but couldn't get to it. Key now for the Wahines is to get some points, because at 9-12, if they keep playing side out, Stanford will be ahead 2-0.
Bad news for Hawaii right now, though, is Kristen Klein, their All-American, is front and left right now. She's got 3 rotations across the front coming up. And with a 9-12 deficit right now, Hawaii has got to put together at least a block or a dig of Kristen Klein.
Nice pass from Jackson, and that time in the middle, Amy Cooper.
See, even I got faked out there. I thought for sure they'd go to Klein. Instead, Cooper's playing so well that Feldman, the setter, feels very comfortable going to her.
Well, they're number 1 for that very reason, Chris, is they can have you guessing all night long because they have so many options. And when they're all clicking like they are tonight, it makes it very tough. Malin Franzen, a terrible pass. But she makes up for it as she comes up and puts it gently through the block. Sign of a great player is to recover and recover quickly.
Malin with an uncharacteristic 5 hitting errors tonight. We usually see her make 5 hitting errors in about 5 games. She had 0 the other night, so she's off to a slow start here. That one there has got to help her confidence a little.
Klein, not a good serve, or not a good pass, and a chance for Hawaii to Brooks. Wilton, nice pass. Boyer back set to Franzen.
Oh, give Jenny Wilton all the credit that time, John. She had a great dig in the back row that set that whole play up, and Boyer with a beautiful back set to Franzen.
A couple of Stanford players go for that ball. Good dig in the back again by Wilton. Boyer to Brooks. Jenny Wilton serving and digging in the back row. And she serves into the net. Dave Shoji is yelling. I don't know if he's yelling toward Ralph Smith or whom, but he's been up a couple of times now. I don't know what he's asking for.
I'll tell you what he's doing, John, is he's talking to his blockers. He wants them blocking in certain formations, and he wasn't happy the way they were lined up. So he does the same thing during serve-receive rotation because Hawaii's put in so many new wrinkles that he's got to remind the girls about the new formations they're in. That's one of the reasons why I think they're about 25% better than they were 2 weeks ago, is that they put in all these new things. But once in a while, Dave's got to get up and remind them about the changes.
Key Williams off the tip, back to Hawaii.
Key Williams, Don Shaw wondering how are we going to learn how to stop that young lady from Compton. 12 kills already here in game number 2.
Klein goes through. It goes through Lovelace but lands in, and you can tell it was in because it bounced and then hit the linesman.
Kristen Klein, 7 kills with no errors. She's hitting .389, showing why she may have Player of the Year numbers this year.
Just when you think it's the Cooper and Oden show, she has done a great job, and now a chance for the Cardinal on a free ball. Andy Brooks keeps it alive. Back set from behind the 10-foot line. There's a good pass from Lovelace. Key Williams looked over at the Stanford bench after making that one. She loves to glare.
She loves the glare, and she loves to hit for a high kill percentage. Here she goes there. She's over 400 tonight, and that's one of the reasons on a bad set, she keeps the ball in play.
And that's why she's top 10 in the country in blocking.
She's a one-person wrecking crew up there right now.
Andy Brooks with some good serving to help the cause. Great dig by Wilton. Boyer dumps. It's kept alive, though. Settle down. Jackson. Well, bad news for Hawaii is one of the keys for Stanford's comeback tonight thus far. Cooper comes back in.
She's tough, and Jennifer Jackson made a smart play that time. All Pac-10 academic team last year. We can see why. She is one intelligent player.
Another good pass from Jenny Wilton.
Now here's an interesting point. When the game goes on like it has, Hawaii, I think, has run out of substitutions for Key Williams. Dave showed you he's going to leave her in the back row. She's got a pretty tough serve, but sometimes it doesn't stay in. There it was. That was a good serve. Klein handled it easily.
And Bev Oden just jams it down. Nice pass, nice set, and the Oden kill.
Well, Kristen Klein was one who put up a beautiful set, or a beautiful pass, and Felder with an excellent back set to Oden. She just drilled it.
All she had up against her was Lovelace, and she made it look easy. Boyer dumps, and right there is Oden. They knew that one was coming. Jackson off the block. Nice play by Boyer. Lovelace from 8 feet out is roofed. It's 13-12 Stanford. Kristen Klein looking up at Ralph Smith, calling for the lift. Ralph says, don't worry about it, just play. Not well hit that time. Again, a chance for Stanford. Oden into the net.
She wasn't ready for that one. That one came up very quickly. Not her fault. She hit it into the net, but hey, she's hitting 500 tonight. She's only had 2 errors all night long.
Boyer line drive serve. Klein throws it deep in the corner, and a chance for the Wahines to tie it. Bronson is roofed. Cooper and Jackson might have been a little too far back for her to hit it like that.
It looked like she tried to go off Jackson's hands on the liner. She's had success all night going down the line, but that time she hit it right into Jackson's right hand and got roofed.
Kept alive on a bad pass and pushed in the back. Kristen Klein kept alive. Malin Franson. Jenny Wilton sets it up. Franson roof. There's Wilton, though. Franson hits it to the back row. Well, Hawaii can't get Boyer to set the ball. I guess it doesn't matter sometimes.
This is one fluky play after another in this rally, but finally the Terminator, Malin Franson, just finally says enough of this already. She hits it hard off the hands. Side out Hawaii.
Lovelace serves, and she goes long.
Oh, another one of my cardinal rules I got to tell you about, Mr. Fink.
Yeah, I'll bet it's don't serve out.
I don't like serving out after a timeout or for a game point or match ball, those kind of things. But I'll tell you another one. If you've had an emotional, long rally you worked very hard for, don't go back and serve out.
Tough set for Boyer, and Brandy Brooks just misses it. She yells tip, no way. 14-12 Stanford. So talk about a momentum swing, a serve out and a bullet serve that time for Stanford. Amy Cooper wasn't sure. She thought maybe the tip was there, and it's 14-12.
Amy Cooper usually comes out of the game for a back row specialist, and she's staying in here, and she does have a tough serve. Look at that. She just drilled it.
Bev Oden misses a playable ball. It's back to Hawaii, but Chris, we were here last game at 12-14, and Hawaii couldn't do anything but get one.
Jenny Wilton going back to serve now. Young Hawaii High School Player of the Year last year from Hilo High School. Had spent her other years up at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And she came in earlier this year, had a great match against UCLA. Let's see if she can do it against Stanford. Excellent serve. She picks up an ace.
That ties her for the team lead in aces. I was going to say she's a good server, one of the best on the team. That ball hung up in the clum air, and then the oxygen went out of the ball, and it dropped on the floor. You know, when you play tennis in high altitude, they use special balls. I think they should use those here at Clum, and Don Shaw is going to talk it over. He did this last game, and his team pulled it out 15-13. Can Hawaii come back this time? We'll find out. Broderick Award recipients: Kim Oden in '85, Elaine Oden in '86, and Bev Oden in 1990. Must be some great barbecues when they get together. Budweiser reminds you to know when to say when.
And I'll tell you, if Kim Oden and Elena Oden are watching right now on Prime Ticket, our heartfelt congratulations to you and the rest of the 1992 Olympic team for the women's volleyball. It just qualified in Japan. I think Bev would like to be there too someday, but congratulations. That was quite a dramatic comeback they made in Japan to get that eighth and final qualifying spot in the 1992 Olympics. Congratulations to their coaches, Liskevich and Giovinazzi. They were here last May doing some training, and we want to pass along our congratulations.
Jenny Wilton to serve at 13-14. Hawaii needs this point desperately, because all Stanford would need is one more kill. Another line drive serve, but a good pass up front. Crystal Klein, that's what they worked on. Kristen comes up. They worked on that one, obviously, during the timeout. That was a set play, and she puts it through the block, and now Stanford will serve for the game. Carrie Feldman checks over to Don Shaw, says, Don, where do you want it? Up front. Key Williams gets it back. Boy, Key starting to hang in the air a bit better. She didn't hit it hard, but she hits it well enough, and now Mullen Franzen.
You feel like we're watching the Key Williams show and the Bev Oden show and the Kristen Klein show?
It's a great show, whatever it is. They're all good. Klein off the block. Hawaii will have a chance on Boyer's set. Good dig in the back by Feldman, and Jackson has to put it outside to Oden. Again off the block. They're going every time to Key now. Oh, great play by Franzen. Good rally. The crowd will tell you what happens. We're in overtime now. It's 14-all. They pass it to Jackson, and a miss hit. And now suddenly, Mullen Franzen is serving for the game as Nicole Appleman hits it into the net. A good serve, Klein. They go back to Klein. It's a free ball. Hawaii can win on this hit. Not yet. Here's another chance. Boyer outside. Brandy Brooks. The way they are, here's how the Northwest region would stack up heading into postseason play. Long Beach would play probably Cal Poly or Boise State, and Hawaii would take on the Lumberjills from northern Arizona. But of course, this weekend will determine how the regions end up and where they send some teams. So we'll have to wait and see, and we'll be back with game 3 right after this.
Spectacular game number 2 that Hawaii won 16-14. Notice the hitting errors. Hawaii with 12 errors, Stanford with 7. Not usually does a team with more hitting errors win the game, but that time Hawaii very lucky to win game number 2. Stanford dominated most of the way. Hawaii emotionally came back. They had 2,000 fans here in Clum Gymnasium, where it's about 115 degrees right now, and that really pulled them through, in my opinion. The 7th man Clum crowd.
Now you're exaggerating like me. 115. It couldn't be anything over 105. She's starting to, you know, I hit, say, balls are hit out by a mile and things like that. And now you're starting to sound like me. Brandy Brooks with the last kill of game number 2. I don't know if luck have anything to do with it, but I would certainly suggest to you that Hawaii coming back strong after looking like they may pull an El Foldo in the middle of the match. So you've got great teams here. And we're going to go to 4 games at least tonight. And Stanford will start out serving in game number 3. New wrinkle from Hawaii, and they get it back right away, Chris. There's that little move in the middle with Malin Franson.
That time Hawaii running a little trick play there. Don Shaw saying, I haven't seen that one before. Again, Dave Shoji slowly putting in new plays prior to the NCAA championships. One of the reasons why I think Hawaii has been successful over the years is that Dave puts the building blocks in, the fundamentals early in the season, then gradually puts in the fancy stuff toward the end, and his teams normally peak at the right time.
Key Williams, tough angle. Your car is your star player. To help keep it performing its best, try high-quality Chevron gasolines with Tekraline.
There's one of the new wrinkles. Key Williams hitting on the outside. 16 kills already, only 3 errors.
Side out the Cardinal. Well, we're starting all over, but now it's going to be best 2 out of 3 as each team has won a game at 15-13. Smart hit. Short set. She couldn't get up high enough to hit it down. She goes off the block. She's like an artist painting on a canvas out there sometimes, Chris, the way she maneuvers that ball around. Sometimes she just hits it hard and straight, but she's got that little deft touch now, which has really added to her game.
She really does. You know, 2 months ago, she only had 2 shots, hard and harder. And now she's much more versatile. She moves the ball all over the court.
Stanford to serve. Ball let go in the back row. Hawaii thought it might be out. Ball lands in, and Bev Oden to serve. She's done some damage there. Hawaii may keep this alive, and they do as Crystal Atwood pops it over, but it's a free ball for the Cardinal. Now they scramble, and here's Jackson, and she hits it long.
That's the kind of spike that Don Shaw wants to have Stanford keep in play. The other night they hit 28 of those out or into the block. He'd like to see them kept in play a little more often.
Crystal Atwood up front. Stanford not getting good combination there. And then Malin Franson tips it over the block right to the back row. And it cost the Wahines. Not sure what Malin thought she was doing there. She just looked at herself and said, my fault, as players tend to do.
Jackson with a great hit here. Look at her angle this cross court. She goes inside the 6'3" Brennan and inside Kenyatta Lovelace. Excellent spike by Jackson.
Heather Brennan, not very hard, but it's down. Chris, another major factor in the second game. Want to point out again, Jenny Wilton came in off the bench, has not seen much action. Last week against Fresno State, she was out with a bad back. Didn't see much action on Wednesday against Stanford. She comes in, serves for a bunch of points, and gets about 5 major digs to really bring Hawaii back.
She really did. She took Heather Brennan's place there in the end of the game. Heather had used up all of her entries into the game, and it seems like Hawaii may have another new wrinkle in their lineup. That's called the Heather Brennan and Jenny Wilton combination that's taken the place of the injured Tony Nishida.
Again, for those of you just joining us, Tony Nishida, at first they thought it might be torn ligaments. They say it still may be, but she's responding very well to treatment, and they're going to try to fit her with a brace and see if she can be ready for the regionals, if Hawaii should get there. Nicole Appleman, who made a key mistake at 14-14 last game.
Nicole, our player of the game 2 nights ago, not quite as sharp tonight. She's hitting negative. She has more errors than she does kills.
She's roofed. And she keeps it alive. Can they save it? Oden, no. So Hawaii gets the first point. Boy, team's working hard for points now. Klein tips it over the top. Good dig, kept alive. Lovelace, oh no. Kenyatta Lovelace looking for a spot underneath the club floor to climb under, because that time her teammates did yeoman work to get it in play, and she just popped it out. Miley Golden dig, but no, it hits outside the antenna. Good effort by Miley. And a point to the Cardinal, 1-1.
Stanford all over that last Hawaii play. Hawaii ran a double quick there. Boyer had Franson from behind and Williams in front, and they were all over that, blocked it quite well, and Hawaii did not cover well in the back row.
Lovelace, little dipsy doodle on her pass. Off the block, Jackson, great play to keep it alive, and Feldman with a nice set to Klein. Stanford looking very number one-ish on that play, Chris. They had to hustle on defense, and they make it work.
They really did. Kristen Klein hitting the ball that's spinning and coming from way in the back row, and she just hammered it for her 10th kill in 29 attempts, hitting .345. Those are all-American numbers. So she's got 2 blockers on her every time.
So is the fact that she does not have an error yet. Klein tips it over the top again.
Stanford showing a few new wrinkles of their own, running a fancy little tandem play there between Bev Oden and Kristen Klein. Terry Feldman, nice set.
Lovelace with a terrible pass. It goes over, and Bev Oden tries to make her pay, but Hawaii blocks her. Now will they block Jackson? Up front, Boyer dumps, but there's Stanford. They saw that one coming over. Miley Golden dug it, but she couldn't keep it on the Hawaii side.
You get the feeling that Hawaii might have spent a little bit too much emotionally at the end of game number 2 to win 16-14. They're having a little bit of a letdown now, and guess who's going to bring them back in the game? The 7th man, or 7th woman, I should say. Plum crowd.
Kristen Klein. Off of Lovelace, another terrible pass, but there's a bad hit by Oden. And so Jackson has to go from behind the 10-foot line. Pass up front to nobody, so a play of mistakes that time. And Hawaii gets it back. Chris, Kenyatta Lovelace has really improved her passing, her receiving this year. She's made a bunch of mistakes here in the beginning of game 3. Jackson, Crystal Atwood, nice play. Key Williams keeps it alive, and Lovelace mishits. Again, Kenyatta couldn't do much with it, but she's got to put it on the court. She doesn't.
Right, and great effort that time by Key Williams playing that ball off the net. Kenyatta Lovelace has got to keep those off plays in play to give her defense a chance to score. You know, whenever a team makes a great dig, John, it takes a little bit out of the offensive team. So if you can just get it back in their court again, they think, hey, how hard do we have to hit it in order to get a side out or a point here? So and that's been Hawaii's characteristic in the past. Dave Shoji coached teams are like a backboard. They always keep the ball in play.
Well, and it also gives the defensive team Hawaii at that point a little adrenaline rush because, hey, we're back in this point. Let's go. But it's moot when Lovelace hits it into the net. This time Key Williams picks up another kill. Her 19th kill. She's hitting over 500. She's playing on another universal strata right now. I don't know where, but this is not Earth.
That was a great connection between Boyer and Williams that time. Boyer set that ball from out the 8-foot line. Now we have the 6'3", the tallest bow, Heather Brennan, in the game, and she'll be blocking next to Sherry Boyer.
Jackson off of Shota. Chris, they have done a good job, Stanford has, when she's in the back row. Klein with some great passing.
Oh, perfect pass and a great set by Feldman. She gets it all the way out so Jackson can just rip it down the line. Jennifer, her best hit of the night.
Bev Oden, second on the team in aces, comes right to Lovelace again. They go back to Lovelace, and she kills.
Well, Kenyatta's been a little quiet tonight. Only 15 sets she's gotten. 5 kills, 5 errors. She's hitting 0 right now. She's usually up around the 300 mark.
Good serve by Boyer. Jackson off of Lovelace, and to Kenyatta's credit that time, the timing was off because the ball hit the net and she couldn't get enough of it. Let's see where Stanford serves. Jackson. See if they go at Lovelace again. This time it's Crystal Atwood, and that's a good pass. You put Malin Franson up one-on-one, odds are she's going to go left or right or through you, and she does that time. Lovelace goes deep with her serve. Boyer. Heather Brennan with a rare set, and Crystal again hits it down. Klein off the block and over to Stanford. Another kill. Kristen Klein, 12 kills, 31 swings. No errors. And she's done a great job passing in the back. Stanford did not pass well on the deep serves the other night.
One of the missing ingredients for Hawaii tonight, John, is their block. They've only got 4 blocks tonight. They're used to getting about 3 per game. They've only got 4 total for the night. So Stanford has done a much better job of hitting around and through Hawaii's block. And Dave showed you, we'd love to see that missing ingredient re-enter the Hawaii offense.
Stanford with 9 blocks, and part of that you can attribute to the setting job of Feldman. A lot trickier tonight. Hawaii's not been able to get as many 2 people up for the blocks. Jenny Wilton comes back in. Kenyatta Lovelace, nice play on the dig. 2-3.
Shaw says, uh-oh, the #2 blocking team in the country can't be asleep for too long. Here they finally wake up. Crystal Atwood teaming up with Key Williams.
Kristen Klein tipped, and there's Lovelace, another good pass. Crystal again. Well, Atwood that time tried to do the same thing twice in a row, and when it came back on her side, she tried to elbow it over the net.
I think the one shot Crystal's missing right now is the wipe-off shot. The shot off the outside blocker's hand into the crowd. She's so strong and good at hitting it cross court. I think that's the one other shot she needs right now.
Key Williams off the net. Nice play. Stanford keeps it alive, and Klein. And there's Wilton. Another good dig. Oh, Wilton plays a ball that would have been out, but here's Key. Nice calm pass from Atwood, and now a chance for Franson. It lands wide. Malin Franson with an error, and it goes outside. Crowd appreciates the hustle, though. A ball that was played that probably would have been out, and Hawaii kept it alive and had a chance by staying in the point. 4-3.
When Crystal goes up and takes such a nice swing, Boyer puts up a nice high lob, what they call a 4-set. Crystal finds the seam or the hole in the block and puts it down.
It's the field goal.
Crystal, the young lady from Miracosta, Southern California, volleyball powerhouse.
Good deep serve. Stanford trying to get players back up. Klein is blocked. It's kept alive, though, but it hit off its shin, and that's below the waist, and so that's no good. Don Shaw says, come on. Come on. 4-4. Appelman says no way, but she says it away from the referee, and now Owen Nakamura hears from Don Shaw.
The whistle was very quick, John, so I have to think that Ralph Smith very definitely did see the ball hit below the waist. And in volleyball, of course, the contact must come from the waist up.
He put it down to his shin or ankle area. And now, after all that, Malin Franson serves out. Something a senior should not be doing in late November, as the crowd and the sweat on the floor being wiped up and the questioning of the referee gave her time to pause and think, and it might have been just enough for her to push that one long. Williams, her 20th kill.
And again, I'm amazed at how Key Williams has made the adjustment to hitting on the outside. She was just asked to do this about 10 days ago. She's been hitting middle all year long. And now she's sitting outside and middle and right.
Ball's hit out that time, tipped over and out. Nice try, if you will, because the block was up and it went over the block, but it was just tipped wide. It's 5-4. Easy one that time for Appelman.
Oh, give Carrie Feldman all the credit here. Watch this beautiful backset. Faked out the Hawaii block. There's only one blocker up, and Nicole Appelman said, hey, thanks, Carrie. I like that.
Kia Williams, an observer in the middle on that play. She picks up her 21st kill on the night. She's hitting .529. You wonder how many swings an arm can take.
And she's already set a UH season record for the Big West, hitting .417.
She gets a good serve, and there's a big hit in the middle. Amy Cooper on the short set. So returning the favor of Hawaii's short set.
Good connection here between Feldman and Cooper. Feldman setting a beautiful match tonight. She studied those films long and hard on Turkey Day, and she was bound and determined to play better tonight.
Jenny Wilton. That was her slider. Watch this thing twist, Chris.
Well, this doesn't have a whole lot of authority to it, but it's got a little side spin there. Odin can't pick it up and says, oh my, hit it harder, Jenny.
And Bev
Jenny, meantime, saying, hey, look, I'll take kills any way I can get them, sloppy or not.
Bev lying there on the floor, taking in some of this good Clum sauna, the post-Thanksgiving diet plan of Clum. Where could you better lose some weight and enjoy yourself at the same time? Hawaii going for the ball. Atwood pops it over. It lands outside the antenna, though. Ralph Smith said, yeah, it went over, but it was outside of the plane of the antenna. And the crowd appreciates the effort.
We are seeing just a great battle between two titans in NC2A volleyball. This is like getting to see the final match. This might even be better than the final match in UCLA, December 22nd, 21st, 22nd. Right around there is when we have the finals of the NC2A. This is as good as it comes, I tell you.
There's the cardinal rule again. Jenny Wilton couldn't do much with the ball after a great effort by Boyer, and she hits it into the net.
The concern Dave showed you wondering, hey, if we can get Stanford and beat them tonight, maybe we'll go out of a region so we don't have to play Pacific and Long Beach.
Well, that would be a real shame.
How about that for regional teams? 1, 3, and 4 in the country. All in the same region. Only one of them gets to go to the Final Four.
Well, you know my feeling on that, Chris. It's a farce. It's ridiculous. They've got to change it and seed teams based on their national standing, or else why have seeding in the first place? Net violation called against Stanford that time. Called against Feldman. And it goes over to the Wahines at 5-5. So both teams settling in for a long night at Clum, as we're only midway into game number 3, tied up at 1. Malin Franzen. A rare error by Crystal Atwood, as she normally does not hit balls out like that on a free shot. One of the things she does best, Chris, is somehow roll it off the bottom of her hand and gets it down where it doesn't go long. It may get blocked, but it stays in play. Bev Oden, there's Boyer with another dig after dig from Sherry. This time Crystal puts it over. Good play by Lovelace, kept alive, and Key Williams calls for it. And it's a great rally going with the Titans. Well, Kristen Klein only has 2 errors tonight. She'd like to have that one back. And she hits it wide.
I feel like we're in a major slugfest here, Mr. Fink. These teams going at it toe-to-toe, long rallies, great plays. Both teams tiring rapidly in this sauna of a Clum gym. Again, did you tell the fans about how you lose weight here? The exercise plan?
Absolutely. You just show up.
And you sweat at least 10 pounds a night.
That's right. It's all water, but it's a start. Over the top, 2 players tipping it, and there's Lovelace hitting it too far, but there's Key Williams to keep it alive, and she sets it for Atwood. Don't know why Atwood hit it that way. There's Lovelace again, and now Boyer sets. Franzen, boy, tough angle. Long rally, but not smoothly played. Bronson with a one-on-one. Had the whole court. She chooses to go down the line, and she goes wide. And she's looking for the floor wipers to come out to help her clean up.
You know, she's been so successful over the 2 nights hitting down the line. I really think she thought she had an easy chip shot here. Boyer with a beautiful jump set. Here she goes down the line, just mishits it. Got on the outside of the ball a little bit and spun sideways on her. But watch for the next one to go cross court.
Jump set coming into the match for Stanford is Piper Hahn. Key Williams partially blocked. Klein, there's Boyer, another dig, and Klein. Oh, Lovelace was there and couldn't get it.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. We've been at 5-all for about 20 minutes. I thought the team that got the 6th point after all that time was not only going to get the 6th point, which Stanford does right here. They punch it up. Nice set by Feldman. Klein ends the play here with a nice spike right down on the rainbow side of the court. I think the team that breaks that long tie is going to get a bunch of points. Let's see if Stanford gets more than just the one.
Piper Hahn, a real spark plug off the bench. Good pass that time, and Key Williams hits it long. No question about that. 2 points in a row for Stanford.
Points are coming in bunches. Piper Hahn's gotten 2 already.
Of course, the one problem with the jump serve is that sometimes it goes awry. So Piper Hahn comes in, gets 2. She's a real spark plug off the bench. Gets a couple of digs a game. She was all freshman in the Pac-10 2 years ago. And she was a teammate of Crystal Atwood's at Miracosta. Atwood off the tip. 6-7. That ball touched. Excuse me, I said tip. Of course, the official term is a touch. So we go tit for tat with tips for touches, and so Hawaii tries to tie it. Ooh, it lands in, and Dave Shoji looking for Ralph Smith to call it. But he does not overrule his linesman, and it goes back over to the Cardinal.
2,000 people saw that ball out, plus Dave Shoji. But there's only one person that matters. That's Ralph Smith. Let's see if we can see it here. Nobody for Hawaii touches it. Hard to tell.
Boy, hard to tell if it was in. It was right by the line.
Very close.
Other trouble, of course, you got the free throw line there and the red line, which is the in or out line. Net violation called against Stanford, but the ball hit the ground. So Hawaii gets a crisp. We now have about 18 people wiping the floor. I think they're going to get the crowd to come out and start wiping the floor. They can't wipe it quick enough. Look at this. Looks like they're looking for a contact lens out there. Kids getting some great experience sitting right by the court. A couple of them, you can imagine they're getting tired. It gets later and later at Clum, and they're just sweating, and they don't get to wipe themselves up. Change in momentum, one of the Chris McLaughlin Cardinal rules. Serve it in, and Brandy Brooks serves it in to the net. So Appelman serves down the line. Boyer back set to Key Williams, one-on-one.
Oh, what a set by Boyer. She goes 30 feet behind her head, sets it right on the net. Look at this. Actually not 30, about 25 feet across the net. Key Williams goes up and buries it. Quietly picks up her 22nd kill of the night. She's hitting .474. She takes a well-deserved rest.
Shota checks in for Key. Jackson, good hit, and there's Franzen. So Stanford players all over the place. A good move by Piper Hahn that time. Boy, she moves out there. She's got quick feet. Chris, it's late November, and as these players get more and more tired, it shouldn't make a difference, but obviously conditioning will. They're obviously in good shape. But you can start to see some players taking deeper breaths. They've got a game and a half at least left here tonight. Nice play by Klein in the back. And Jackson kills it. It's 8-6.
Oh, Jennifer Jackson's really lighting it up on the outside. She loves that line shot. She's getting great sets from her teammates. Piper Hahn staying in right now. Interesting, I think Kerry Feldman set a great match. He's got 45 assists, but Don Shaw choosing to go with Piper Hahn here right now.
Jennifer Jackson and Kristen Klein with 13 kills right now to lead the Cardinal. Free ball, Franzen. 7-8. don't think Mullen's real thrilled with the way she's played tonight, Chris. She's hitting only 108. She was smiling the other night when she started coming around. If she can get hot, she could be that extra link Hawaii needs.
I give credit to Sherry Boyer for the serve. She's the one who forced the bad pass that came over the net.
Jackson that time hits it wide. Stanford, little tricky offensive play, and they're going to make a substitution. Checking into the match, Christy Passo comes in for Jackson. John Shaw jumped up quickly and said, "Get in there, Christy, we need you."
Well, I love Jennifer Jackson's attitude. She looked up with a big smile and said, "Hey, come on, Christy, come on and do a good job." She wasn't pouting about hitting the ball out. She had a very positive attitude.
Back over to Stanford. And going back to serve Christy Passo, and her pastimes, and she's a hiker and she's a biker, and now she's a spiker. I don't make these things up. This is real. She came back from a back injury last year. Stanford Cardinal. Stanford ranked as the #1 undergraduate school in the country by U.S. News and World Report. Boyer gets a piece of the block. Didn't jump up. She might have gotten more of it, and Stanford gets it 9-8. John Shaw yelling at Owen Nakamura.
Guess who got the kill? The smallest player on the court, 5'7" sophomore, Piper Hahn.
Boyer goes outside. This time Franson off the block. Off of Passo, and the Wahines get it back. Some games are like a motorboat, the way teams move so quickly through one another. This is like a couple of barges going in the water here. Back and forth and back and forth.
Well, that does not help. Kenyatta Lovelace just ran out of gas on that serve.
Kathy Juergens, another one of the back row players who comes in and does such a good job. She and Sawin. Checks over to the...
Some people think they're the best tandem duo in the back row in the country.
Randy Brooks is roofed right into the block. It's 10-8 Stanford.
If we had to vote for a player of the game here in game number 3, it'd be Piper Hahn. She's had a block, a spike, a jump serve. She's causing Hawaii all kinds of problems. She's come in and done a great job for Carrie Feldman, who I thought was setting terrifically.
Well, he's done this,
Shaw pulled Carrie out.
He's done this. She's been a real spark plug off the bench, coming in at various times throughout the year. Franson, but there's Passo. Lovelace. Franson has to set it to Brooks. She tips it off the block. Ooh, nice pass from Hahn. Lovelace sets again to Brooks. Good rally. Players flying all over the court. What a hit from Brandy Brooks. She had a big block in front of her, Chris. She goes in a tough angle.
Oh, Brandy Brooks is way outside the corner of Boyer's bump set here, and she just turns it inside the 10-foot line. Stanford can't believe it. They say, what's that young freshman doing hitting an inside angle?
That's a mathematical, about a 6-degree angle there. That thing was not a real wide angle for her to hit it at. And she had just been roofed by the big block. And she said, I'm going to go this way this time. And she gives Hawaii the side out. And these side outs are taking a long time because they got to wipe up the floor.
It's amazing how substitutes are playing such a big role for both teams. Piper Hahn coming in playing brilliantly for Stanford. Brandy Brooks and Jenny Wilton playing well for Hawaii.
Good serve from Wilton just over the net. Now Hawaii with a chance. Dee Williams blocked, and she was not ready for the ball coming back. And she clenches her fists and said, got to get those. Good block by Stanford that time.
Dave showed you hanging his head going, oh, Sherry, why didn't you go out to Mullen? Mullen was waiting for you.
10-8. Here's Piper Hahn. Let's see if she does the jump serve again. She will. It's just long. Piper Hahn in high school set a record in the long jump, so that's where she gets some of that long jumping on the service line. Klein. It's dug, and nobody from Hawaii can get there as it comes over to us.
Good set by Piper, a little back set to Klein. Of course, you can hardly go wrong setting Klein anywhere.
And 8. Hawaii needs a side out back. Andy Brooks, long shot. Good dig by Hahn again. And Lovelace returns it. Great defense by these two teams. Chris, it's ironic. Key Williams has had more balls in the middle tonight that she really hasn't gotten a full swing on, and she just keeps finding an opening, either in the back row or right over the block. That time, a little bit of luck as she puts it down.
If she were a basketball player, we'd say she's got the hot hand. Everything she's touching turns to gold right now.
Yeah, and if she were a basketball player, everything would be rolling around on the rim and going in right now. But that's okay. Those still count. Brooks does not have a good pass, but here's Lovelace through the block.
Kenyatta's been very quiet tonight. The young lady from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Starting to turn it on now. She's led the Bows so many times this year, been very quiet tonight.
Bev Oden is roof, but she's right there. Low, Williams.
Here we see the block by Key Williams, a bump up by Oden, and Williams just dumps it down, giving Hawaii their 10th point.
10-10. Don Shaw calls timeout. Hawaii's tied it up. A yellow card. Tell us what that's all about.
Well, I picked up a yellow card, which is a warning. Ralph Smith said, you got to calm down a little bit, coach. Can't get quite so excited here. How can he not get excited, though? It's 10-all in game 3 with the match tied at 1-1 in games.
Bev Oden hits one. It lands in. It's side out Stanford. Well, Chris, explain now. The next time he could get a red card.
Then it would be a loss of the ball, either a side out or a point.
So if Hawaii's serving and he gets a red card, Hawaii would get a point. If Stanford is serving and he gets a red card, Hawaii would get the ball. So Don Shaw has now tested the limits, and Ralph Smith says you're done. It is 10-10. They go at Jenny Wilton. She's had a great passing night from the back. Free ball, Sherry Boyer. Oh, Sherry Boyer says to herself, I was awfully lucky. She had a week and a half to get ready for that ball, Chris, and the Stanford block was ready for it too.
I tell you, Stanford had a great dig on Key Williams' hit right here. Look at this. She just bombs it cross court. Piper Hahn pops it up like it was nothing. Boyer goes up with what she thinks is going to be an easy kill, and the cable gets in the way. Hawaii very fortunate there. Now they bring in the big block for the end of the game here. Wilton's going out. 6'3" Brennan coming in. Hawaii picks up about 5 inches right there.
10-10. Hawaii wants some blocking up front. Good serve this time from Key. Off the block. There's that big block of Brennan. Welcome to the game, Heather Brennan. First a partial block and then the kill. It's 11-10 Wahines.
Don Shaw quickly subs out Paso. Brings in Jackson. Wants to see the person who starts more often finish the game.
Another great serve. 2 hits by Piper Hahn off a bad pass. 12-10. Another great serve. Lovelace nicely taking her time. Brennan off the block, but not hard enough. Here's a chance for Jackson. Oh, Heather Brennan, how big can you get here? 13-10. Don Shaw calls time.
Block by Boyer and Brennan. Brennan gets out there quickly, but Boyer taps it down on Jennifer Jackson. The crowd erupts, and now they are on fire. Listen to this, Jim.
Another good serve. Key Williams doing a great job from the service line. And Jackson hits it long. Well, Key Williams has really set this whole thing up because she has served a bunch of bullets. Another one. 14-10. Jackson off the block. First chance for Hawaii to win game number 3. Lovelace. Each other about this. We just put our 6th players that we have seen here in Clum. This is only the teams we've seen in Clum. We both agree on Natalie Williams from UCLA. We agree on Antoinette White from LBSU, Danielle Scott from Long Beach State, Kristen Klein from Stanford. And Chris thinks that Hernandez, the setter from Long Beach, and Kasser from UOP are on his all-team. And I think Beckenauer Heller and Elaine Young. So there you see what we feel are the best 6 players that we've seen come through Clum Gym or been in Hawaii this season. Game 4 coming up, Hawaii leading 2-1. Serving Hawaii, getting the first point as Stanford trying to tip one over. It does not go. And now they hit one wide, and it's 2-0 Wahines.
Hawaii picking up right where they left off in game number 3, John, when they took that lead. It was 10-all. They went ahead 15-10 to win game 3, and right now they're on a roll again.
Mullen Franzen all the way outside to Brooks, and she is roofed. It goes outside, 3-0. Well, Chris, you said in game number 3, a team that scores in bunches after they broke away from the pack might be able to pull it out. And what happened was Stanford got I believe it was a 10-6 lead, and then Hawaii came back at 10-10, and Key Williams, of all people, serves 5 points to win it.
She normally doesn't even play in the back row. Everything she's touching tonight is turning to gold.
Bev Oden partially blocked. Mullen Franzen. Boyer. He lifts it, hits her arms, and she lifts it. Ralph Smith called it. It was right in front of him.
He looks up at Ralph and says, hey, don't you know who I am? I'm Key. I haven't made any mistakes tonight.
Well, she said, give me credit. I got my reflexes quick enough to get that ball. Stanford. Oden. Dug in the back by Miley Golden. That time pushed over nicely by Brooks off a deflection off a block. Kristen Klein just pops it over, and Mullen Franzen sets it to Key. I think the trouble there was she had too much time to think about it. She hits it long.
This is a good rotation right here for Stanford. They got Oden up front. They got Klein, a good server, and a great digger in the back row. Stanford usually gets points in this rotation.
Miley Golden keeps it alive. Kenyatta Lovelace to Key Williams, and she'll keep it in play. Good pass, and Bev Oden puts it away. Great pass in the back that time by Kathy Juergens up front. Mullen Franzen is roofed. Christy Passo and Bev Oden. Just like that, it's 3-3.
Stanford not about to give up, John, even though they finished poorly in game number 3. Coming on strong right now in game 4.
Christy Passo laughs that one off. The block came back right into her face.
She and Franzen exchanging a few words here. Last time Franzen got blocked by Passo, she said something across the net, so Franzen just passes it right back.
Unlike Mullen, she said she was going to exert more leadership. That's a Chris McLaughlin shot. That is a Chris McLaughlin backyard barbecue. I can't play anymore, I'm too old. And she just tipped it over, Chris.
I don't know if I could have done it that well, John. That was, I tell you, Key Williams has had more shots tonight than we've ever seen. Normally she's been, like you said before, a 2-shot player, hard and harder. Tonight she's got everything.
Passo very smart that time. She had about 4 balls in a row, got one back in her face. This time she just tips it over the block. Smart play.
On this play here, Boyer goes up by herself. Franzen's got to stay deep on the line. Who should have picked that up was Key Williams, the blocker who didn't make it up.
A serve, and a great serve by Nicole Appleman. 4-4.
Boyer goes to her knees in an All-American set, and then we have an All-American kill right there by Key Williams.
I don't believe that ball can be left in play. I really think it's oblong at this point.
It might be. Stanford in shock right there. They had two very good blockers up there, Oden and Cooper, both up to stop Key Williams. They knew the ball was going to her. Hawaii seems to set her in that rotation every time, and she still got it through the block.
Key Williams, of course, with that sore shin. It's been sore all year, and she's played through it. What defense by Hawaii, but here's Stanford. No, it lands out. The crowd tried to wish it back in, but it did land out. They'll have to blow a little bit harder to keep those balls in.
Oh, excitement all around in Clum Gymnasium right now. Great rally. Two teams going at it toe-to-toe.
Oh, Key Williams, no, it lands down. Ralph Smith said it landed down before she went into the net. And Don Shaw, ooh, he's yelling at Ralph Smith again. Owen Nakamura said correctly that Key was in the net. Ralph Smith said it landed first. And if it lands before you hit the net, it's okay.
And that's what the call was. Don Shaw pleading his case, but from here it did look like the ball was buried first and then Key hit the net.
Well, she hits it hard enough that by the time her momentum got to the net, there's a good chance that that's correct. Block! Hawaii scores, and Key Williams is back at the service line. Is how they ended last game.
And Hawaii's block is up again now. They're up to 9 blocks for the evening, so closer to their 3-game average.
Heather Brennan got a piece of that, but couldn't keep it in play. What I was suggesting about Key Williams is all year long her shin has been sore. They've iced it down between games sometimes. And here she is in a hot night, a long match, and we'll see how it holds up. A lot of players bending over, trying to get some wind. Dave Shoji bending over, trying to get some wind. There is no such thing as wind in Clum. Boyer sets it high. She had no choice. Lovelace. 4 people into the net. Knocking into the net that time was Feldman. And the Wahines get it back. Sherry Boyer to serve. Sherry Boyer 4th on the all-time list of Hawaii aces per game average. She's on just about every list Hawaii has, including the dig list. Free ball for Lovelace. She hits it outside the antenna. Dave Shoji telling Heather Brennan where he wants her positioned.
What he wanted that time, John, was he didn't want Heather to set that ball. He wanted Mullen Franson to step in and set the ball that Sherry Boyer had dug.
Ace serve. It's 5-5. Ball might have been out in most places, but there's not enough air here. I don't know the exact physics of it, but it just dies in Clum. Franson inside the block. Feldman that time with a dumper. Hawaii was there, and this time Brandy Brooks hits it long. So Hawaii with a bunch of unforced errors. They're only hitting .250 on the evening. And that's in part a tribute to the good Stanford block, which is much better tonight. Stanford right now with 14 blocks. It's more than Hawaii has. But Hawaii also hitting a lot of balls just long. Well, Franson gets lucky. She didn't hit that one hard enough. And it's a point to the Cardinal. It's 6-5.
Kristen Klein picks up her 15th kill. Asked on Shaw what happened after Wednesday, who took the loss the hardest. She said that young lady right there, Kristen Klein. She hates to lose, and if anybody's going to bring them back, it's going to be Kristen. Great dig, kept alive nicely by Cooper, and now Bev Oden. Lovelace, good pass to Boyer. She goes outside to Brooks. Kept alive. Look like they were swatting flies that time. And now Hawaii's going to have to just potch it over. Klein down the line and wide, but it's back over to the Wahines. Klein asking Ralph Smith something. What he's telling her is that it's okay to hit the ball twice on a spiked ball. And what Shaw is saying is it has to be a hard-driven ball. Ralph Smith is explaining it does not need to be a hard-driven ball. Here's a little looping shot by Klein. Well, here's the shot she hit out to end the play, going down the line.
But before that,
a looping slow hit ball was hit over the net, and Mullen Franzen apparently hit it twice. Ralph Smith said that play is illegal.
once on the block and once on her hit.
No, this is just one play in the back row. It's a slow-driven ball. Don Shaw's feeling the ball has to be hard-driven in order to get a double play at it in the back row. Ralph Smith is claiming it doesn't make any difference. The first ball coming over like that, you can double hit.
Don Shaw now conferring with the assistant coaches on it. Stanford to serve. They lead 6-5.
Again, good rotation for Stanford right here. Bev Oden up front. Key Williams with that quick whip-like arm swing though. Picks up the side out for Hawaii, and Franzen back to serve. Going down the line, working on Amy Cooper. And Appleman comes through in the middle. Stanford mixing up their offense a little bit here.
Appleman, our player of the game the other night for Stanford. She's hitting negative tonight, but she gets a big kill there as Hawaii still stuck on the 5 spot. It's 6-5.
Great set by Feldman that time. Totally fooled Hawaii's block.
Here's an easy ace as the ball lands on the floor. Appleman does it with the kill, and then she gets an ace. Boyer had to sneak up on the net to get that one. It was not a good pass. And she dived to make that dig. Back set from Key Williams. A lot of free balls floating around, and there's a block up front. Well, you can't roof a harder hit than that one.
Well, Bev Oden really does hit that ball hard. She goes up, and Brandy Brooks, the freshman, how about that, blocking last year's Player of the Year. What a thrill for Brandy from Estancia High School in Southern California.
Big hit for big block for Brandy Brooks. She chose Hawaii over UCLA, USC, Cal, and Stanford. So a lift called on Boyer. She thought she had to clean off the block. Looks up at Ralph Smith, and I don't think she's gonna wipe her hands off, but doesn't say anything. And Ralph just tells her, yeah, it was a lift. Bev Oden, another good line drive serve. Boyer says, I'm not going to lift it, I'm not going to set it, I'm just going to dump it. And Shota will check in for Hawaii and give Key Williams a rest. Key Williams is breathing real hard right now. I'm sure she says, Stephanie, do me a favor, serve about 10 points and let's go home. I don't mind sitting down. Oh, why? She's only had 50 swings tonight. Ball lands inside. Ralph Smith with the call.
Christy Paso with a nice line shot there, John.
So the big switch this game for Stanford is Jennifer Jackson's been on the bench. And off of Paso that time. Nada Lovelace very quiet in terms of kills tonight. Remember, she is the team leader in kills per game. She has the most kills on the team, etc., etc. It has not been her they have been going to tonight as much.
What they've been doing, Sherry Boyer has sensed that Key Williams is hot, so she's given her 50 sets, and she's given Mullen Franzen 45 sets. There's 90 sets right there just for Franzen and Williams. So Boyer knows who's hot.
And of course, the night is young. There's plenty of time left. Boyer all the way over to Franzen. Stanford gets a piece of it, and here's Klein from way outside. And she hits it all the way across court and outside. Mullen Franzen hitting 109, Lovelace hitting 136. If I told you that, would you believe Hawaii's ahead 2-1?
Probably not.
Oh, Klein with a big hit. That ball might have been heading out. And Stanford will serve, and here's Piper Hahn checking in. I was walking past her at the beginning of the match before it even started, and of course I reminded you it was warm here at that point, and I believe I heard her say, "I'm already sweating profusely." Good serve, but Lovelace is right there. Randy Brooks is roofed. Ooh, it lands in. Stephanie Shota was standing by the line, thought it was going out, and she never went for it. And it lands inside. Got to know where you're positioned when that ball comes back over. That time Hawaii let it go. Not a good pass that time, but there's a great set. There's a great set from Sherry Boyer. Wholesale changes. Jenny Wilton checks out. Miley Golden is in, and back up front is Key Williams, and Shota takes a break. Again, a chess game, as you always say, Chris, trying to figure out when do I put my subs on, when do I keep them off, because I only get 12 changes in a long game. Lovelace, good dig, but puts it over. Now Bev Oden with a chance. Off the net, it's in play. Oden up close. Roof!
Oh, Bev Oden had a great swing at this ball. Really took a lick at it. But Malin Franson and Key Williams just too much block that time. She got to see why Hawaii's ranked #2 in the nation in team blocking.
Yeah, and I will remind you that #2 in the nation for the Wahines, they rank behind, I believe it's North Carolina, Asheville. I'm not sure who they play, but I don't think they've played Pacific, Long Beach, Santa Barbara, UCLA, and Stanford. No offense intended, but it's all relative, guys. That time Oden off the block.
You can't keep an Oden down for too long. The former player of the year is not going to get blocked twice in a row, very rarely anyway. She came back very strong with that play, swung with a lot of confidence, a lot of force. Klein with a good serve. Good rotation here for Stanford.
Oden that time, and Key Williams. Land of the Giants going up that time, and they keeping it alive. And Oden with a short set, starting to make her presence felt in the middle. 9-6 Cardinal. Dave Shoji calls timeout as Bev Oden starting to do her thing, and she makes it 9-6 the Cardinal. Playing now for regional decisions. These teams all playing to see where they're going to end up. Pacific at home beating USC in 4, and Long Beach State going the limit, going 5 with BYU. A tough one there. So 7-6 for the OIA championship. And in men's basketball, Arizona over Dayton 84-68, and Hawaii beats Montana State 71-55. Your blockbuster scoreboard blockbuster now on Oahu, Kauai, Maui, and the Big Island. Lots of scores all right here. 9-6 Stanford. Boyer goes outside to Brooks again, and she goes through the block. Check for splinters, Chris.
Well, this is one of the great changes in Hawaii's transition game in the last 2 weeks. Quick plays like that between Boyer and Williams.
Malin Franson, good dig on a big hit from the back row. Brooks, roofed. Randy Brooks got to figure out a way. They've gone to her a lot on that side, and she's getting beaten a bit by that big Stanford block.
Well, you can't fault Brandy for not swinging aggressively. She goes up right against Stanford's big block. Oden penetrating over the net. Such a good blocker. Now we've got Cooper up front. Also another good blocker. And coming into the game, Lori Sowin, one of the great back row specialists in the country. Don Shaw and Denise Corlett pulling out all the stops.
Crystal Atwood, or Brandy Brooks trying to step out that time. Not a good pass. Or not a good set, really. Sherry Boyer being told now from Shoji what he wants. It's 10-7 Stanford. Cardinal trying to send us to a game 5. That time Brooks goes by the block, and there's Piper Hahn to Bev Oden. Good set, and it's 11-7. Piper Hahn comes in and does the job. Not a bad place to have a setter come in like Hahn Feldman, as you mentioned, not doing a bad job, and Hahn a little bit different with her sets, and it's working.
Donshaw's very lucky to have two setters of such high quality. To be able to interchange them in the middle of a match is really something special.
Again, a bad pass for Hawaii, and a chance for Stanford. And this time Bev Oden sets middle to Cooper. Key keeps it alive. Boyer now goes to Atwood off the block. It's out. Stanford got an arm on it. But the Wahines get it back. They need points.
Dave Shoji's gotten a chance to rest Crystal Atwood for a while. Brandy Brooks coming in. Atwood with 31 swings tonight. She's number 3 on total swings after Key Williams and Malin Franzen. So Dave trying to rest his hitters. I think he maybe thinks we might go to a game 5 here.
Ball lands out. Good play by Lovelace. She saw it there and she backs up. It's 8-11. Net violation called against Hawaii. So that negates a nice dig by Lovelace, and it's back over to the Cardinal at 11-8, and Bev Oden will serve.
That's only Hawaii's first blocking error all night where somebody's got tangled up in the net. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a few more. Stanford has 4 blocking errors. But as the night goes on, the players get more tired and watch for more net violations.
Tough pass that time, and Lovelace hits the net, but it goes over. But here's Hahn, short set, and it's 12-8.
Oh, nice transition play that time. Piper Hahn comes in, little 1-foot takeoff, short set to Cooper. Here's the pass up. Hawaii. Kenyatta Lovelace hits the ball across court. Nice dig up to the net. Watch Hahn go up, little 1-foot takeoff there. Sets it to an alert Cooper. Excellent transition play by the Cardinal.
It all started with a tough pass on the Hawaii side. Boyer with a nice set, but it wasn't enough. Riley Golden comes up, and that time Sherry Boyer. Well, you knew it was going to happen over the course of who's in the most money, who's drawn the best crowds over the course of the season. A lot of different factors coming in. Bev Oden serving at 13-8. Crystal Atwood, Boyer is outside.
Now there is a shot of Kenyatta Lovelace that we have not seen in quite a while. Normally she bombs those every night, night in and night out. Tonight she's been much quieter. Again, only 24 sets tonight. Normally she leads the team in sets.
Shota into serve. Good line drive serve, but right at Kristen Klein, who's done a great job all night long. Lovelace gets up to get a piece of it. Brennan. Stanford just diving and making good plays all over the floor. The Cardinal trying to put Hawaii away in 4. Or in game 4 anyway. Long rally. Let's see who takes this one. Missed timing in the middle.
That time Heather Brennan just a little bit late that time. They couldn't get the connection with Boyer. Now that's where they missed Tony Nishida in the middle. But Heather Brennan's come in and played well, and so is Jenny Wilton. Stanford has a chance now to go to 14.
Brennan roofed, but she keeps it alive. So she wasn't roofed as it kept in play. Klein partially blocked, and here's Hahn again outside. It goes long. They call it tip. Yes, they get a tip. Linesman calls a tip. Ralph Smith acknowledges it. It's 14-8. Stanford about to send us to a 5th game. They do on a big block on Lovelace. Too far away from the net. She goes into the block, and her goal is this year not to get there, but to win. Easy play for Kristen Klein as she just jumps up and tips it into no man's land, or no woman's land, and it's side out to the Cardinal. Let's see if either team can get hot early here in game 5. Hot being a kind of rhetorical term. Everybody's hot here tonight.
You know, an interesting point comes up here. I'm surprised that both coaches didn't decide to go to a rally scoring for game number 5 just to get ready for the NC2A, because neither has played rally scoring all year long.
Well, the two coaches were talking between games. It might have been a discussion, but I got to believe it's one of those things they decide before, and they decided not to. And they will be playing rally point scoring, which means every serve, if you get a side out, you also get a point. And they'll be playing that throughout the NCAA tournament. Most conferences have opted for that this year.
In game number 5.
Right.
Amy Cooper comes in now after Bev Oden just had a great block for the side out.
Hawaii trying to make a clean sweep tonight. The Wahine basketball team wins. The men's basketball team wins. And now the Wahine volleyball team trails as Stanford gets a big roof on Key Williams.
Hawaii becoming a little bit predictable in this particular rotation. They go to Key, Key, and more Key. And Stanford's getting more and more blockers up on Key.
Great set from Bev Oden. There's Miley Golden. Nice dig to keep it in play. Piper Hahn goes outside. Another great set to Oden. Crystal Atwood goes long and wide. It's 2-0. This match and this game have major implications, Chris, in terms of final seeding. It would be much easier for the NCAA committee if Stanford could hold on and win this game. They wouldn't have to determine if they'll have Long Beach and Hawaii as 1 and 2 and then send one of them out of the region.
Still, though, what a tragedy in regional play to have teams 1, 3, and 4 all in the same region.
Yeah, it's possible Long Beach could move up to 1 anyway because Stanford lost 1 match here, even if they should pull this out, and you're right. Hands inside. Crystal Atwood tried to tip it over the block. It doesn't work. It's 3-0. And so Brandy Brooks comes in for Crystal Atwood. Dave showed you not waiting and not pleased.
Crystal really didn't play that badly. Hawaii had some bad passes, a little trap set there, and Crystal did the best she could to keep the ball in play. Dave wanting to slow down the momentum without taking a timeout, and he got just that with Key Williams' kill.
Check out the stats from game number 4. Neither team hitting.
Notice the hitting errors, John. 10 and 8. That's a lot of errors for 2 good teams like this. The hitting percentages are very surprising. You see them, both teams hitting down around 100. That means the defense is playing pretty good. A lot of digs, a lot of zeros.
Stanford also with 3 aces in that game, and that's the easiest way to get points is not to have them return it. 3-0 Stanford.
Stanford right now blocking very well. They've got 20 blocks for the game.
Lovelace off of Oden. It goes, oh, good try by Piper Hahn, but she can't get there. And so the Wahines get it back. Hawaii has played this season. They beat Pacific in 5, and they beat UCLA in 5. And boy, weren't those great matches. On the other side of the coin, 1 match this season has gone 5. It was against New Mexico that Stanford prevailed.
And that was very early in the season.
Stephanie Schode almost picked up a mistaken kill. Boyer dumps it. There's Bev Oden, though. Ball lands inside. No argument from the Hawaii bench, and it goes back over. Great set that time. Great set from Piper Hahn.
You know, Piper Hahn is a little bit like Carrie Anderson for Hawaii. She's a little bit shorter, and she's a little bit quicker. And she sets a little faster tempo game, and right now it's throwing off Hawaii's block. And Oden's very hot, too, right now. She's hitting from back row, front row, middle, everywhere.
Oden had nobody up on her that time as a block. That pass from Piper Hahn fooled the entire Hawaii blocking scheme, and she almost hit it out, but she doesn't. And now Stanford comes back with another quick point. It's 4-0.
Klein picks up her 18th kill. She's leading in kills for Stanford.
Don't think they'll get too many more before Hawaii calls a timeout. Lovelace is roofed. It's 5-0. Hawaii, you're right, Chris, maybe getting a little bit predictable on that outside left, and Dave showed he's going to talk to his team about it as Stanford used some strategy here to go to the middle.
Well, right now, I'd be very surprised if Sherry Boyer doesn't set the middle, because Piper Hahn at 5'7", the smallest player on the court, is blocking middle for Stanford right now.
They don't have to right now because Stanford comes back, and the McLaughlin Golden Rule number 726, don't serve out
after a timeout.
I know that. Boyer. Well, you know, she can avoid setting if she can keep doing that.
One of Hawaii's best servers shows why she gets so many aces. Right there, she serves it low across that 7'4" net. It barely clears and then drops, giving her an ace and Hawaii's first point here in Game 5.
Well,
Same exact serve right there, but Paso was ready for it.
You saw a good shot of Paso. She was waiting for that ball. It just never reached her. Mullen Franson, the Wahinis, with 2 quick points off the timeout, and the Clum crowd is back in it.
That service ace and Mullen spike may be just what Hawaii needs to vault them into better play here in Game 5. It's been all Stanford so far in Game 5.
Oh, Piper Hahn went through a block with a dump.
Smart play. This ball shot right at the net. Wilton almost had a piece of it, but Piper Hahn, excellent play.
Great serve and a bad pass and a kill. 6-2. So different players making some mistakes for Hawaii, and Stanford capitalizing on every one of them.
Credit Amy Cooper. She usually comes out of the back row for a specialist. Instead, she's staying in now and serving very tough.
There's that high set outside, and there's Stanford. And there's a roof.
Mullen Franson that time, teaming up with Jenny Wilton. Hawaii down 2-6 though here in Game 5.
Right between 2 Hawaii defenders, and Dave Shoji says somebody's got to get it.
Now Wednesday night, Bev Oden was hitting those same balls about 2 feet long. It looks like she's getting used to the myriad of Clum lines that are here. She's hitting them in the court better.
Hahn and Shota. Good dig by Piper Hahn. She nails one from the back row, and it's kept alive.
Nice dig by Amy Cooper.
Trying again. Oh, Kenyatta Lovelace taking a ball that was real deep and probably would have been out.
I think she thought it might have touched the block, and that's why she put her hands on it. But I don't think the ball actually was near the block. Kenyatta just made a reactionary move.
Well, Stanford starting to make Hawaii look bad. They win the 4th game 15-8. And now a miss hit from Hawaii, and Stanford with a free ball, and Klein puts it away. It's 8-2. Stanford making it look easy.
The coaches also discussed, are we going to switch at 8 points? And both Don Shaw and Dave Shoji said, no, let's play straight through on one side. So Dave Shoji's team will stay on the Eva side of the court. Don Shaw will stay on the Diamond Head side of the court. For those in Southern California and prime ticket who don't know what Eva and Diamond Head are, visit Hawaii sometime and find out.
A lot easier to tell directions that way. Because if you don't know where you are and someone says go Eva, you know exactly which way to go. But if they say go east and you don't know which way you are, how do you know where to go? It lands out. It's 9-2. So Hawaii, unforced error, bad passing. And Stanford and Piper Hahn has really come on strong between her serving, her setting, and her hitting to make a difference here for the Cardinal. Franson gets one through the block that time, and a tough block it was of Klein and Oden.
You know, it's interesting. If I were to have graded Carrie Feldman and how she had set tonight, I would have given her about an A-. I thought she really did a good job. Don Shaw and Denise Corlett have chosen to go with a different tempo, and I think it's worked with Piper Hahn here in Game 5.
Off the block of Hawaii. Hahn is just setting the ball perfectly all over, Chris. She's gone left, right, and middle, and every time she does, it seems like the right move. Hawaii's not getting up to block it.
It's really made it tough for Hawaii's blockers because she's a little bit more difficult to read as a setter.
Real break for Hawaii. Franson goes off the block, but right now it's 2-9. Hawaii's got to get some points and then hold Stanford if they're going to get back in this. Mullen Franson hitting only 161 tonight as she served.
Randy Brooks picks up her second block of the night on the 1990 Player of the Year, Bev Oden.
3-9. Outside. Doug, and there's Boyer. Nice set on the top angle. What a set and a big hit by Brooks.
How about the dig by Jenny Wilton in the back row? Hawaii putting together 3 good plays in a row, trying to get back into this game that Stanford has dominated.
Absolutely no block that time. Well, I don't know. Hahn might have fooled him so much. Nobody jumped up for that ball by Appelman.
Cole Appelman had an awful lot of fun with that last set. She ought to buy Piper Hahn dinner for that one. Beautiful set, faked out Hawaii's block. Again, the new setter throwing Hawaii off, even though Feldman had played very well.
Oden goes long. Not much of that by her tonight. She was doing it the other night. Hawaii hitting only .207 as a team. Good serve, and it's going to be a point. Once again, Brandy Brooks. Where will it go? Nobody knows. But she gets Hawaii's 6th ace of the evening.
Did I hear you say earlier that when the coaches give her serving signals, they do it just for fun? They really don't know where it's going to go? They do know it's going to be a tough serve, though. She serves a good floater. And she almost always picks up points.
Well, she has shown some great potential here late in the season. 6'1" freshman. She will obviously have to fill some of the big shoes left by 4 departing seniors. Another line drive serve. Oden just tips this one over. There's the block for the dig. And Boyer goes up and Paso puts it down. Rolls up her sleeves and says, let's go. Net violation called against Piper Hahn, and a break for Hawaii.
If Piper Hahn has a flaw, it would be her size at the net. At only 5'7", she's going to struggle a little more than some of the other players. But so far, she hasn't hurt Stanford. Only that time was the first time I think that she really made a mistake when she got tangled up in the net.
Good rotation for Hawaii to utilize with her up front. Can't utilize much when Amy Cooper just cranks that one.
It's just amazing how Stanford's gone from Piper Hahn from Lindsay Carey Feldman to Piper Hahn, and it hasn't missed a beat. Cooper just drilling that ball.
Good dig in the back. Klein sets it, and a free ball for the Wahines. And they go outside or they go middle. Wilton. Oh, not a good pass that time, kept alive. Wilton, nice pass that time. It was tipped by the block, and the Wahines catch a break. Ragged play, but Hawaii gets it back.
That rally was a little ragged, John. Both teams very tired, sweating profusely, crowd anxious to get going. They want to see some sparkling plays like they saw about 2 hours ago. Not this knockdown, drag-out war of attrition that's going on right now.
Sherry Boyer to serve. She checks Howard Wallace for the signal. Goes right at Klein, and again, not a great pass. And Oden comes up, and she gets a big kill. That's the value of a Bev Oden.
Oh, what an alert play that was by Bev Oden. Stanford with not a good pass, not a good set. Oden came out of nowhere very alertly to pick up her 20th kill.
(9-5) Cardinal. Kathy Juergens comes in back row to serve and play some defense. Shota too far, but Boyer keeps it alive in front and gets a kill. Once again, Sherry Boyer taking a ball that had no right going where she put it, and she saves it for Hawaii.
How many times have we seen this in her 4-year career at UH? On a pass, it looks like it's going over the net. Boyer at 6'1" goes up and saves it.
93 times. She's done it a bunch. Another ball right at Klein. Klein was passing great earlier tonight. Now Hawaii gets a little break on her. Oh, Brandy Brooks. Brandy Brooks, a little too much anticipation on that ball. Chris, she couldn't have killed it anyway. If she'd have hit it over the way she swung at it, it would have been a free ball for the Cardinal, and she knows it.
Right. She had every chance there to make a good play, and nothing went right.
Now Piper Hahn not with the jump serve. Good dig by 2 Stanford players, and Klein keeps it alive to Oden. Lovelace up front. Nice set. So a rare setting opportunity for Lovelace, and she puts it just where Brandy Brooks can put it down. And now Heather Brennan and Miley Golden will come in. The one player who hasn't come off the floor all night long, 2 players, Malin Franzen and Sherry Boyer for Hawaii. Klein and Oden, I believe, have been on the floor all night for Stanford. That's a long night. Brennan smartly keeps it up. Net violation called on Stanford. Referees call it before Brandy Brooks even hit it, so there must have been no question. Owen Nakamura and Ralph Smith both blowing their whistle. 6-9.
Don Shaw not questioning it. His players did get tangled up in the net that time. Again, I said this would happen as the players get more tired. They get more net violations.
Oh, Bev Oden with a nice play that time. She didn't have much of a swing, and she hits it with her left hand, and now let's see what the call is.
On the net when the ball was in the
Okay.
Point to Hawaii. I believe Bev Oden might have run into the net. Let's listen.
Tell you what happens here. Here's the ball. It's spiked. The ball is going to go out of bounds, but while the ball is still in the air, Bev Oden runs into the net right there. The ball has not touched the ground. The play is not over. Point Hawaii.
7-9. Don't go away yet. 7-9. Let's see what play Shaw and the coaching staff have set up. Middle. Oh, Kristen Klein kept alive by Franson. Nice dig in the back. Piper Hahn mishandled by Oden. And she says wet, and that's what happens here. As you sweat and sweat and sweat. Too bad they can't use wristbands in volleyball.
That's another problem with playing in club. You get so sweaty, the ball gets wet. The ball's wet right now on the first pass.
Ball lands out. It's 9-9. Dave Shoji saying, I've got both eyes watching this match. No, he's not saying that. Don Shaw wants a little more rotation. He gets Klein to get the pass. Kept alive. Golden says, I got it, and she does take it. And Brooks puts it over and in. Piper Hahn, here's Klein. Woo!
Klein goes up with an All-American swing. I mean, that was a great swing. Heather Brennan goes up and takes away that cross-court angle and gets the block of her career.
Here's an amazing substitution, Chris. You know from coaching, he changes his setter in the middle of Game 5, and Piper Hahn has done yeoman duty, and here comes Carrie Feldman, who's had a good match.
I give both of them an A for the night, though. They're two very good setters who've had good matches. It just seems that Coach Shaw likes one in one situation, one in another.
Klein off of Boyer. What a dig by Boyer, and Brennan keeps it alive. Ball lands out. Net violation, though, against Hawaii, called on Heather Brennan. Chris, Heather Brennan had a ball there that she stood on her flat feet and hit over. She might have jumped and put a little more on it, and Stanford takes advantage.
That's asking a lot out of her on an off play, though. She did a smart thing by keeping the ball in play.
That's true. She had to keep it in play, and now Stanford tries to tie it. Franson off the block. Boyer. Right back to Brandy Brooks. There's the block. She's going to have to do something different this time. Franson tips it. Franson gets it. Well, Malin Franson was right up at the net, and Don Shaw was going nuts, but he knows he has to relax and get his composure and get his team back together. It's 10-9. Franson, Boyer blocks, but it's out, and it's over to Stanford. Chris, we want to point out one thing. You may go over the net if there's nobody on the other team right there to make the play. I don't know if that was the call that time, but Malin Franson was awfully close to the net.
Looks like it was that kind of a play, and Ralph Smith did make the right call.
Miley Golden. Watch out for Oden right up at the net. Net violation call on Oden.
That time the set from Christy Postle just a little bit too close for Bev Oden. What a battle we're having here. Over 3 hours of great volleyball. Brandy Brooks going back to serve at 10-9 in Game 5.
They go at Oden this time. Lovelace, roof, but it's not. No, it's kept alive. Blocked again. Heather Brennan backs up. And she just tips it over. And Bev Oden terminates it. I'm not sure that time Heather Brennan had a chance to swing, and Dave Shoji applauds the offense.
The reason he's clapping is they had 2 good swings for their 11th point. Couldn't quite pick it up, but Bev Oden, the All-American that she is, finds the hole in the block and gets a side out for Stanford, serving at 9-10.
Well, with Feldman setting now, we'll see what she does with Oden in the back and Klein. Oden comes up to make it pass that time. It's out, another miss hit.
Again, John, that was Stanford's nemesis on Wednesday night when they lost to Hawaii 3-0, was hitting too many balls out. Amy Cooper's got to keep that ball in.
How even is this match? Hawaii with 42 errors, Stanford with 38 errors tonight.
And Cooper's had a great night, too. Only 5 errors all night. She's hitting .313. So there has been great improvement from one night to the other, but they've still got to keep those key balls in.
Kept alive, and Boyer sets it over because she couldn't do much with it. Klein and Oden both go for it. And a chance for Hawaii. It's a lift, it's a point. Well, the crowd didn't hear the whistle, but I heard it. Ralph Smith blew it again. It's 11-9. Don Shaw trying to stop the momentum with a quick substitution. He's going to go with Solwyn in the back as she comes in for Appelman. Boy, it was 2-9 Stanford, and now it's 11-9 Hawaii. Klein up front, a tough pass, and Lovelace gets a hand on it. It was tipped. It's 12-9.
What a comeback by the Rainbows. Unbelievable.
Don Shaw calls his second and final timeout of the night. Listen to the crowd.
I think they're going to go right now to Amy Cooper in the middle.
And she misses it. And Chris, what's hurting Stanford right now also is Oden and Klein are in the back row.
This is not one of their stronger rotations right here.
Stephanie Shota trying to serve it out. She's gotten a bunch, 13-9. Hawaii going for the 14th. Lovelace. Jenny Wilton, not a good swing. Not a bad swing, but not enough on it. It's hit wide. And now Shota will serve for the match. It's 14-9. The Clum crowd standing on their feet as always. They'll let you know. No. Stanford says we're not done yet. No, they go back to serve with Christy Passo.
Oh, Passo came up with the off-speed shot of her career right there, making up for the last shot she hit out. Quickly silenced the Clum crowd.
Andy Brooks, Malin Franzen, Dave Shoji says that's okay. Exhorting this team on. Come on, let's settle down now. 10-14.
John, 14-10 lead against the #1 team in the country is not safe. Stanford could easily come back if they serve in.
And now it's Sherry Boyer. How fitting, one of the 4 Hawaii seniors. If she doesn't serve for the match, she will certainly have a chance to set for the match. There's a good pass, but it goes over, and Stanford with a chance now. Through Hawaii's block, and the Cardinals stay alive.
And look who they went to twice in a row. Kristen Klein, their shoe-in All-American. Twice in a row, she saved them.
I think if I'm Hawaii, I go 3 players on Klein because she's moved up to the front now. Hawaii still with 1 more rotation with Oden in the back. 10-14. Solomon to Jurgens to serve. Lovelace, nice pass. Lovelace hitting a ball that might have gone out. Don't know, but they tell her shake it off. Good teammates coming over saying, hey, forget it. It's 11-14.
That ball did look like it was blocked out by Stanford. Stanford picks up their 11th point. They're slowly creeping back into this after having a 9-2 lead.
Shota. Franzen. Free ball for Wilton. Oh, and she tips it. Klein hits it into the net with a backhand. And now Lovelace, and I'll tell you what the coach said. He said, serve it in. Shoji yelling, how does he expect to be heard?
He wants his front line players to know the set will probably go to Kristen Klein.
It does, and the block is there. It's tipped off of Boyer. Good call.
Oh, things bode well for Stanford now. Oden comes up to the front. Good rotation, and here comes Piper Hahn, the jump server, into the game.
You think she'll jump serve at 11-14? She didn't jump serve last time.
I think she will. She's a good jump server. No, she doesn't. You're right. She's going to step up to the line and serve a regular float serve.
An ace would be great, but she knows she's got to get it in. Boyer, tough set. Brooks. Boyer back set Franson. Roof, it's 12-14.
Oh, Sherry back set what she thought was a sure thing back to Franson. Mullen just could not turn the ball down the line. She turns it into Kristen Klein's hands. What a block by Klein.
Well, Stanford got what they needed, Chris. They got the two big guns up front, Klein and Oden. Hawaii needs to make something happen because you know where Stanford's going to go.
Oh, Stanford got away with a couple there.
Right back to Brooks. Not a good set that time. A dig. Klein gets it, and she'll go Oden over the net. Not a good pass. Boy, Hawaii had a chance there again. Chris, they're not passing cleanly. And Oden makes it 13-14 off the block. Sloppy play by both squads, and Stanford is 1 point away from tying it up. And Dave Shoji says, wait a minute. He calls his final timeout of the evening.
Up there, she's a very good blocker, so Stanford in a very advantageous position right now, even though they're down 1 point.
Jenny Wilton's up front for Hawaii. She'd love to get one of her first big digs or kills of the night. Shota. Off the block, Brandy Brooks. So they go right back to Brooks, and now Key Williams will check in, and Miley Golden will check in for Jenny Wilton. So Hawaii doing what they want with their subs now. And Miley Golden for the match.
Hawaii's fourth chance for the match right here, and they've got their star player in up front, so now things look a little more even.
Golden serves in. Oden passes close to the net. Hahn. Klein. It lands in. And now Klein goes back, so Hawaii got her out of the front line. That's the good news. The bad news, she leads the team in aces again this year.
And she carried Stanford through the front row that time on her shoulders by herself. She was something else through that front row. Clutch hitting.
See where Hawaii goes this time. Brandy Brooks to Boyer. T. Williams, not a good swing, but she gets it. And we're tied. Bev Oden, great athletic move to get a piece of that one. We're going into overtime. You can't get any tighter than this. It's 14-14. This is a major, major serve by Kristen Klein. Good serve, and there's Boyer. Key is blocked on a bad, bad short set. Boy, they Stanford smelled that one. 15-14. They'll now serve for the match, and Kristen Klein can do it herself with one more serve.
Credit Bev Oden for an awesome block.
Great block. Brooks. Kept alive. It's not over. Stanford keeping it alive. Great defense. Franson is roofed. It lands out.
Stanford served once for the match. Hawaii served 4 times for the match. Hawaii's now got to work their way back up to try to win by 2.
Hawaii's got a good front rotation now with Brooks and Williams and Boyer. Good blocking potential. Mullen Franson at 14-15. She serves in. They go outside through the block. Nice hit that time by Appelman. And Stanford serving for the second time for the